And the last race we'll go over here on the recap edition is the Grade 1 Zenyatta from Sunday at Santa Anita. Let's take a look at the field. Only 6 of them signed on. This was really not supposed to be anything spectacular. This was supposed to be more or less a procession. A nice prep race for Abel Tasman, the 1-9 favorite. She was supposed to come in here, just do what she was supposed to do, and then go on to the Breeders' Cup Distaff, likely as the favorite, and if not the favorite, one of the favorites. Instead, we got something totally different. Here's the stretch run of the Zenyatta.
Where Vale Dory takes a slender lead from Shenandoah Queen. 2 lengths Lamuna. La Force is next, and Abel Tasman in 5th position, doing absolutely nothing. Vale Dory from Shenandoah Queen, followed by La Force and Lamuna. The blinkers have sharpened up Vale Dory. She's in front close to home, and Vale Dory takes the Zenyatta from La Force, Shenandoah Queen, Lamuna.
Vale Dory, the other Baffert, gets the job done in the Grade 1 Zenyatta at odds of 11-1, followed by La Force at odds of 5-1, and Shenandoah Queen, the pace setter, rounds out your trifecta at odds of 20-1. We had a major bridge jumping situation if you played any of those horses. The show payoffs for Vale Dory, $40.60. La Force, $14.60. Shenandoah Queen, $26.60. Vale Dory gets the job done. Let's take a look at her a little bit more. She's 10 of 21 lifetime, 8 other times, second or third. Over $1.3 million in career earnings, owned by Sheikh Mohammed bin Khalifa Al Maktoum, trained by Bob Baffert, bred by Abolengo in Argentina, ridden to victory by Joe Talamo. And the pedigree at the bottom of the horse card, she's by Asiatic Boy out of a Halo Sunshine mare named Valerina. 93 Buyer speed figure for Vale Dory, winning the Grade 1 Zenyatta. Don't know that she is Breeders' Cup material, but we have long maintained, myself and Illman, we talked about this for the past handful of years. We'd love to see her turn back to 7/8 of a mile for the filly mare sprint. I don't think that's going to happen, mainly because Baffert seems to have probably 2 of the main contenders for the filly mare sprint. And truth be told, a 93 is not fast enough to win a race like the Distaff, but maybe Vale Dory, all of a sudden, this was her first start in blinkers. Maybe she's going the right direction. And if you think that this division now all of a sudden is up in, shambles, maybe Vale Dory's interesting, I suppose. Who knows? We'll find out where they decide to go with her going forward. I don't mean to give everyone else short shrift, but this really boils down to Abel Tasman, about the non-effort from her. Again, bet down to 1-10. And she finishes 5th, and she, at no point, looked like she wanted anything to do with the race. Now, again, I've brought it up a couple other times earlier, and Baffert himself brought it up afterward. His quote following this was, "She's up there where the sick horses are. I hope she's not getting sick. I'm about as stunned as everyone else. Mike said she was not into it. That's not the Abel Tasman we know. She never runs a bad race. If indeed she is getting sick, then that's obviously not a good thing going into a race like the Breeders' Cup Distaff if she gets to that point. And that is nothing more than pure speculation. But if she's getting sick, it seems like she'd probably end up missing some time here. The good news is you still have 5 weeks. But boy, I mean, that would be a very difficult position for the connections to be put in. If she's not getting sick, to be honest, to me, that's even more alarming. Is this just a sign that she just doesn't want to do it anymore? You also have to wonder, maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's not. Her and Elate put on an absolute show up at Saratoga. Elate emerges from that race with an injury. Abel Tasman returns and looks like a shell of herself. We've seen other instances in the past where just knockdown, drag-out races can completely sap horses of what they've got. I don't know that that's the case here for these 2 fillies, but would it stun me? No. This was a disaster, no question about it, an unmitigated disaster. And if you are looking at Abel Tasman come Breeders' Cup Distaff time, just as a handicapper, think long and hard about what you're doing. You're probably going to be taking a short price, one of the favorites, on a horse that's coming in off of a complete non-effort. We know at her best she can certainly win the Distaff. Are you going to get her best? She earned a 76 here on Sunday afternoon. We'll find out. If she gets there, what kind of form is she going to be in? Abel Tasman bombs in the Grade 1 Zenyatta. Vale Dory, her uncoupled stablemate, gets the job done at odds of 11-1. And wherever they go with her, she's at least coming back into it in good form, which is something more than we've seen from Vale Dory in recent memory. Nice effort from her. She is a Grade 1 winner. That's going to button up the deep, in-depth recaps for this week. We do have a nice little stakes montage we'll throw out there. Some important and impressive races, including one race from Belmont Park. And I'm not going to tell you which one, but most of you probably already know what I'm talking about. There's a race at Belmont coming up in the stakes montage that It's going to have major Breeders' Cup implications, and you may be looking at the next star going forward for a pretty potent barn in New York.